This delicious breakfast sandwich is gooey, cheesy, and bacony, and the best part is that it comes together in about 10 minutes from things you already have in your kitchen. Let's get started. First, you're going to need some type of melty cheese. I'm using a blend of mozzarella and cheddar here, 2 eggs, a strip of bacon, and 2 pieces of toast. Now we're going to start by laying down the bacon into a cold pan over medium heat to render out the fat. While that's going, start by separating 2 egg whites from the yolk. You can do this by passing the yolk between the shells, but honestly, I prefer to just use my hands. Also a lot less chance of accidentally breaking the yolk that way. Now you're just going to season the egg whites and yolks with some salt and pepper, and don't forget this step or else they'll taste really bland. Now equally important is what I just did here, which is adding a teaspoon of olive oil to the egg white and whisking it vigorously. This is going to allow the egg whites to spread out evenly and cook in a single layer once we add it to the hot pan. You'll see that in a second. Now the bacon's rendered most of its fat and it's ready to come out now. Before adding the bread, I like to season the oil with a big pinch of salt. Then I add the 2 slices of bread and move them around in the oil, then give them a quick flip so I make sure both sides get a chance to soak up that delicious bacon fat. And that's also going to ensure that both sides toast up evenly. Speaking of which, that toast looks about ready, so let's get it out of there. Now, do you remember how I said it was really important to whisk that oil into the egg white mixture first? You're about to see why that's so important. To see how the oil helps that top layer of egg white glide around so effortlessly along the top, that's because of the oil we whisked in. If we didn't do that, it would be much harder to get a smooth, flat layer, nice and even like that. Now we're just going to simply add the yolks, the bacon, and the cheese, and then we're going to begin to fold everything up. This is much easier if you have a set of silicone tongs, but a spatula works in a pinch, I guess. Make sure the egg white has had a chance to set first and the edges are slightly crispy, otherwise it'll tear. Then just grab the edges one at a time and make a sort of little pocket, pressing the egg white down onto itself for a few seconds to create a seal. Now once it's sealed up, you can leave it on the pan from anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes depending on how runny you like your yolks. Once it's all folded up like that, what I usually do is turn down the heat to low and then pop a lid on for about, I don't know, 1.5 to 2.5 minutes, something like that. That usually gives me a really nice creamy egg yolk that has a gel-like consistency rather than being too runny and watery. I'm not really into that super runny consistency myself. Now, once you think you've left it on long enough to get that nice consistency, just simply slide it off with a spatula and put it between your 2 toasted pieces of bread. Okay, so it's ready. Let's go ahead and dig in for a bite. Cheers. Now, as you just heard from that first bite, this thing is nice and crispy on the outside from the toast, but melty and gooey on the inside. This contrast in textures just adds to its overall deliciousness. It kind of reminds me of a grilled cheese, honestly, but with extra creamy unctuousness from the egg yolks. Also, the entire thing is wrapped in that amazing smoky bacon flavor that permeates every bite. It's also pretty versatile too, diet-wise. If you want to make it paleo, just use a paleo bread and skip the cheese. To make it keto, keep the cheese obviously and just use a keto bread. Now of course most keto breads are absolute trash, but there's a few good ones out there. On my website I have a huge directory to help people find these difficult to find food items like this, so check out the link in the description for that. Also, this is my first YouTube video, so if you liked it, please like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Maybe I'll upload more. Oh, also there's a link to the full recipe with more details in the description for this video as well. Alright guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.